All right, guys. How we doing? Had to bring back the good old tradition we got here. I found the old song, got the new starting screen. Figured we'd start off 2024 like the good old days. Let me go ahead and switch over here. How we doing? All right. What's up, guys? Long time no see. Hope you guys had a good holiday. Happy New Year to everyone. Let me go ahead and get the music started as well so we're not sitting here in silence. You guys should be able to hear that. All right, cool. If you guys are having any issues, if there's any audio issues, please let me know because I got a new setup going. We're going all analog now. So everything you did was all programmed. I got a new Rodecaster Pro. So we're going legit. This is legit now, guys. We're finally legit. But good to see you. How we doing? Mr. Reckless. Yo, Johnny, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Pratheesh, hello, darling. Pratheesh, is good to see you, my friend. How you doing? Badarius. Long time no see. I haven't seen that name in a while. Let me turn my mic down. I feel like I'm a little bit too loud. That should be better. Okay. Badarius, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Goodman MD. Interesting thought is retail. We're playing Bitcoin miner stocks as a proxy for Bitcoin. With the ETFs now, they don't have to. Wonder how that plays out. Definitely could be a part of the reasoning. Definitely, Goodman. Definitely. Otin, good morning. Good to see you, my friend. We're gonna talk about a lot of things today. I know if you guys want to know my official prediction of what I think is going to happen. Oh, this is an old chart. If you guys want to know what my official prediction is of what I think is going to happen, I gave, I guess, a statement on my channel. If you guys haven't seen that, definitely go ahead and check it out. I gotta pull it up here. Usually I'm on top of this. Where's my studio? Where's my studio? There we are. Where's the actual video? Go ahead and check this out.
You never know. Let's go ahead and.
So if you guys are interested in kind of getting my idea of what my prediction of the market, not just Bitcoin, but markets in general are going to be this coming year, definitely go ahead and check this out. It's actually been doing pretty good. 210 views. It's not bad. But we'll definitely talk about that in a little bit more detail, kind of give you guys my mindset, and why I am a little bit too, how do I say this? A little bit too hesitant to be a little bit bullish going into this year. There's a lot of different reasons, and the ETF stuff is just another reason, in my opinion. Now, keep in mind, I do have a little bit of a bearish bias, but I can see both sides of the coin. And I think that's the most important thing when it comes to trading, investing in general, is being able to be open. A lot of people love to go to one side and they just run with it. Every time there's bullish stuff or something that might be bullish that's coming out, they run to the hill screaming 100K, 200K. There's always extremes to the bullish side. Just like there's people out there where they're a little bit too extreme to the bearish side. Very, very, very bearish. Every time they have a reason to be bearish, they're going to be talking, 5K BTC. It's always good to keep both options open, and usually the answer is somewhere in the middle. So I'm going to talk about what I think is going to happen, give you guys a quick little, I guess, run through, give you guys the scenarios I think is going to play out over the course of a more macro scale. Now, when I say macro, I'm talking within the next 6 months to a year. I'm not trying to, give you predictions for the next Bitcoin bull market, or where the bear market is going to end. We possibly could have reached a possible low, but I want to talk about scenarios of what you guys should keep in mind going into, I guess, the rest of this year. Let's see. Marty, good to see you, my friend. How you doing? Let's see. Goodman, the fake news spike then dumped the other day was crazy. I think they really exhausted buyers. I think that possibly could be it. I think that was a bunch of BS, if you ask me. But it was good to see how stuff like that was how it reacted to fake news like that. You Mick, good to see you, my friend. All right, let's talk about it. So, for the longest time, my bias for the longer term picture when it comes to BTC has been the same for a while. It still necessarily hasn't changed, but I have a backup plan, or I have a plan B of how I'm going to approach this. it still results in a big drop coming. It's just a matter of where it's going to drop. If you guys don't know, I trade a particular strategy called the ABC strategy. Basically, it's a simplified version of Elliott wave theory. If you guys don't know what Elliott wave theory is, there's a lot of videos out there talking about Elliott wave theory. I can go a little bit of detail of it. Pretty much, we're taking a complex system known as Elliott wave theory, where you look at things in, waves of 5 to the upside or to the downside, or impulsive waves, and you're looking for corrective waves with an ABC, and then it becomes a bigger 1, 2, blah, blah, yada, yada, etc., etc. Our job when we do this, or our job using our strategy, is to bake a more complex strategy like this and make it a little bit more streamlined into an ABC. All right. And then from there, we're able to use ABCs to kind of indicate where a possible bottom or a top is. I'm not saying that ABCs are used to find a exact top or an exact bottom, but it allows us to give us a opportunity to gauge whether we are getting close to a top or a bottom, especially on a larger term scale. Perfect example of this, the bull market ended on an ABC, right? You couldn't miss this. And basically, when you're looking at ABCs, all you want to do is, once you identify the A and the B, once the C gets passed, in this case for the short side, past the previous high, once price can sustain below, then you should look to be a little bit more bearish. On the opposite side, we have an example as well. A to a B to a C. Okay. And from there, I mean, you can gauge that this could be a larger ABC, larger A to a B to a C. There's a couple different ways to look at this. Regardless, this is the main ABC I was looking at. And same idea for the bullish side. We possibly could have put in a bottom here. So where we would come down, retrace, extend, price can gain momentum back above that previous pivot, and we continue to move to the upside. Price is pretty easy to navigate once you understand the idea of that. It's simple, but it's not as simple as you think, but it's also not extremely complicated. Like I said, the answer usually lies in the middle somewhere. So keeping that in mind, the idea of the strategy, what we're looking for, I personally am still kind of on this side of the fence. I'm keeping this as an option. I'm not exactly as dead set as I was maybe 6 months ago about this happening. But the ideal scenario I was looking for is that this ABC that I showed you guys before is part of a larger A. We're looking for some sort of B, and I was looking for an extension down to retest lower as a larger ABC. To be honest, that can still happen, right? As long as we don't put in a high above here, this is becoming more of a worst case scenario to where price can still put in a lower low, but at this point we retraced, I don't know how far it's been. We're up 200% since the previous low. So the odds of this playing out on this large of a scale are diminishing, but it's still possible. I'm still keeping an eye out for this. This is not my main idea, but this is absolutely an option. The backup option that I have that I think is a little bit more realistic in my opinion is going back to traditional patterns, is I'm looking for an Adam and Eve. All right, if you guys don't know what an Adam and Eve is, it's, if I have to give you guys one bullish signal in all of Bitcoin history to go by, one bullish signal, it's the Adam and Eve. All right, so pretty much you're looking for a low, a retracement, and basically this is supposed to be a sharp, quick bottom, and then we're looking for an extended, drawn out, rounded bottom here. And once price, I'm not sure if this is the high, but if in case this is the high, once price breaks back above and we can continue upward, then that is a clear indication that we're going to continue on the next bull market. But we don't have this yet. Now, let me give you guys some examples in case you guys don't know what Adam and Eves are. All right. So a perfect example of an Adam and Eve. All right. A sharp decline first, then a little bit more of a rounded bottom. Once we broke the previous high, boom. Oh, bull market. This one was kind of a little bit of a smaller one. Sharp, rounded bottom. Boom, bull run. Same thing here. Sharp decline. A longer extended rounded bottom. Once we broke the high, boom. All right. Adam and Eve's can, take different shapes, or they look a little bit different, but it's been the same concept for, I don't know, the entirety of Bitcoin's history. Rounded bottom, boom. All right. I could sit here and draw these all day. So the chances of this being different, is it possible? Absolutely. But there's one pattern that always repeats on a larger scale. It's an Adam and Eve. So to me, this is a little bit more of the realistic side of what I think is going to happen. Regardless, it still calls for, who knows? I don't know. It could be we have to look at things from a more support and resistance standpoint from here on out. If you're going to go by where price can bottom out, I'm not focused on exactly the exact price point, but we got to look at things from levels, right? What is below us? All right. The first level we got to focus on is about 40K. My opinion, I don't think it's strong enough to hold. From there, maybe you can go 35, but again, it's so insignificant that it doesn't really matter to me. Now, this area is a little bit more important to me. Now, I kind of like to think of this as more of a zone because there's two taps. So like around like the 25K to 24K region, that's a good area to test. That's probably the first logical step that I'm looking for. And from there, if we break that, one of the last lines of defense for BTC, in my opinion, is going to be around 19.5. Maybe you can make an argument for this previous low here at around 17.5, but based on what I've seen, I would like to see at least 19.5 hold. If it doesn't hold, I'm going to be a little bit more on the side that we're going to test 15K. So to me, this kind of spells out an Adam and Eve, and it might take a while for this to actually play out, as you guys can see from previous examples. The actual Eve part, I don't know, I can give you guys timelines here. The Eve took about 500 days from the last cycle. This Eve took 235 days. So I think it's going to be one of those things to where these Eves, or I guess the second part of the Adam and Eve, will take longer in time each time. So who knows? 180 days. So it could be another year or two before we get an answer on where price is going to bottom out. I wouldn't say 2 years. I would say at least a year. I think being a little bit too optimistic, being too bullish, especially we're at this pivot, and I got to give you guys the resistance part of it as well. Figuring out where price is going to top out. All right, it's pretty simple. We looked at levels on the way up. For example, this was a good resistance area. We broke through that. Once we break past a certain area of resistance, we have to kind of look back, especially if we're looking at more recent price development. For example, when price created this high, came back down, and broke through, there's no previous price history to go off of, especially in the more recent time. So now we have to go back and see where does the resistance line up. Well, if we go back in price history, right, this high kind of lined up as a little resistance zone, but we blew through that. And so the next logical step in the puzzle, just like how we look for support on the way down, we got to look for resistance on the way up. Is that around that 48K region? Now, I believe did we? I have to go back to the BC, the regular Coinbase chart. I believe we did break it. Yes, we did test it. So we officially have broken 49K. Now, I know people were looking for 50K and above. It could still happen, but to me, the most important step for this process to kind of play out a little bit better is to see that rejection off of this area of resistance. If price starts to go ahead and break through and close above and continue momentum to the upside, I'm going to be a little bit less keen on having this be the key support. There's a couple areas to look for above, but it's one of those scenarios too where if we broke that, we got to go back in price history again. And maybe we can call for 52K. But besides that, the major significant resistance above past 52K is 69,000. So to me, this is the last line of defense before we can start talking about new all-time highs. Now, I can give you guys another idea of what I think could happen if price is going to break previous all-time highs. That, in my opinion, especially with the timing of everything of how things are going now, what I mean by that is we're still at least 6-7 months away till a halving. The halving, in my opinion, is the key time component of being able to determine when we're going to be going into a bull run. I wouldn't say it's not necessarily an indication between bear market and bull market, because we don't know how long price extends or how long price takes to reach a top after the bull run, or after the halving. But before the halving, usually we can get a good idea of what price is going to do. So usually around 3 to 4 months after the halving is when we can start looking at a new possible all-time high scenario. If price were to do that, I mean, let's do the math. I think the halving's in April, May. I think April. I would just say April. So say 3 to 4 months from April, May, June, July, August. All right, let's say the end of summer, middle to the end of summer. That's when you can start looking for possible new all-time highs. If we get into a scenario to where we start breaking new all-time highs now, my personal opinion, I think things might change, but not for the good. I just don't see price going into a bull run this early with not only stuff like, ETF news coming out. Now, I know some of you guys might be bullish because of the ETF. Guys, don't get me wrong. 5 or 10 years down the line, maybe, but immediately to call for a bull run because of an ETF is just not the right choice, in my opinion. Sorry, I'm catching up on chat here, guys. Why hiking a she candles? It's just something I'm used to. Bidarius. I could change it. It's something I look at more of like a longer term time frame. It just looks cleaner. You know what I mean? Like the colors look a little bit more staggered. But when I'm looking at things from like a larger, this is like my macro chart that I use. But just in my opinion, based off of like looking at price, this looks a little bit neater, but that's just me. Vlad, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. This ETF pushed ETH instead of BTC. Yeah. I haven't really looked at ETH or anything recently. BCH is going for another run. Jeez. This is my old crypto list. KDA, LTC. LTC had a really good bullish ABC. Let's see how we doing. Let's see. Let's see. Goodman, do you really think we're gonna get sub 20K entries? I think it's possible. I don't say it's most likely to happen. You just got to look at things level by level, right? As of right now, it's too early to say exactly that we're going to go to 19K. But if we go back down, if we break past 40K, what's the next step? Maybe 34, but that's not significant in my opinion. The most significant first stop that we have to go ahead and test is 25K. Now, if price fails to sustain above 25K and we fail to support, then the next logical step, there's nothing else in between 25K and 19K. You got to look at things from an order. There has to be a profit-taking phase. Absolutely. Ruben, top's in. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. I agree. Top is in. Let's see. Hemule is the ETH founder's cat. Elon has Doge. Satoshi has Toshi. Solana founder has Myro. Correction took all the cheats out at 600K ready. I have no idea what any of those coins are, but I'll definitely look into it. Yeah, man, I bought it. Oh, okay. I have a feeling I know what this is, but I'll take a look. Oh, look, Kite's playing Counter-Strike. Let's see. But yeah, How's Forex going? Oh, I guess we could talk about that. I don't want to give you, let me pull up the screenshots. So long story short, we did good. I made about $1,700 in profit off of my 100K challenge. And unfortunately, I got scammed by the prop firm that I was using. All right. And I want to say I'm sorry. All right. For those who have signed up using Funded Next, who have been trading the Forex strategy with me. This might happen to you as well. Just want to prepare you guys. Hopefully it's just me. I don't want this to happen to you guys. To be honest, like, it's not that big of a deal for me. Let me explain how I got scammed. So pretty much, long story short, maybe give you guys the cliff notes. All right, so I got an email. So mind you, my pay period was supposed to be on Christmas. All right, so basically how they did this, where you trade for every month you trade, basically the next month becomes your payout period. Kind of stupid in my opinion. They do that to kind of incentivize you to trade more. And so basically I made my $1,700 and I did not touch the charts at all for the majority of December. Because I didn't want to lose it. I took like a couple of trades here and there for like $50, $100, but I didn't take too much. So when it came time to pay out, of course, the day before I was supposed to get paid out, I get an email from Funded Next, and this is the email. Basically, basically what they're saying, if you guys want to read this while it's up here, you guys can. Long story short, they said that they found suspicious trading activity in my account, and apparently there was how do I say this? They were trying to claim that myself and another account in the Funded Next were taking entries at the exact same time using a similar position size. And so apparently doing that is colluding, which is stupid. And they're trying to basically say that, oh, we can if we can use this to justify shutting down your account, basically trying to like threaten me in some sort of way. So at first, I can give you guys, if you guys want, I can give you guys the full response and everything if you guys want to look into that. If you guys are in my Discord, I pretty much posted like the majority of what I said. But first I initially responded with kind of like more of a basic email. And this is how stuff like this works, right? The strategy that I traded is to the public. Any of you guys can go ahead and look at the strategy. It's called the Phantom Judah Swing. And you guys can trade this, right? This trading strategy requires you to trade at certain times during the day using certain patterns, okay? The more rules a strategy has, the more specific the entries are. And if more people are using more specific entries, the chances of you and someone else taking the exact same trade are pretty high, right? And basically I try to explain that to them, and they were trying to say that that using that as a excuse of mere coincidence is just not good enough. So I'm like, you got to be fucking joking. So sure enough, I went through a more detailed and I wrote an essay for these guys, and I didn't want to do that because it's just like a fuck you to them, because they're trying to basically say that like, oh, it's a stupid dynamic they have. So basically I explained the entire email. I explained the strategy step by step, provided screenshots, gave explanations for every point of entry, every exit, everything. And I followed up with the end of that email saying, this is going to happen with any strategy. The more complex, the more tighter the rule set is, the higher the chances that more than one person is going to be taking similar entries. And they basically said, oh, well, this is not good enough, blah, 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 blah. And so what they did was they said, okay, instead of shutting down your account, we're going to give you 25% of what you made plus the refund fee. So initially I agreed to the 25% of the profit plus the refund fee. So I was assuming I was going to get 25% of $1,600 and then an extra $500 for the refund. No. They basically gave me 25% of everything together and send it to, they sent me the money. So I got like $480 back. So I ended up losing $20 for, 5-6 months of work. So that kind of pissed me off a little bit. I'm sorry if you guys are signed up with Fund and Next. They are a complete fucking scam. Stay away from them. I've reached out to a couple people to kind of like, it's the whole prop firm space. This is a potential issue you're gonna run into, but there's firms out there that understand this, are willing to accept this. There's 2 firms out there. I have to go ahead and take a look. But at some point down the line, if you guys end up getting screwed by Fund and X, please let me know. In the future, I will do something to make it up for you guys, because I feel really fucking bad if you guys are doing this with me. I really hope you guys don't run into this issue if you guys are trading Forex with me. But it's been doing pretty good. I just haven't been touching the strategy recently because I just got a lot going on in my personal life between holidays, and there's a bunch of crazy stuff that I'm dealing with right now. So I just haven't had the time. So I apologize that, but I do plan on getting back into it hopefully soon. Next week, I think there's only one trading day, which is Friday, which I can't do. So maybe next week, if not 2 weeks from now, we're going to get back on schedule. Happening? Did I say having or happening? Did you check the crypto prop firm? I did look at them. I didn't sign up, but they're on my, I'm definitely going to check them. I'm definitely going to use them as a potential. They're on my list, man, for sure. Oh, let's see. Goodman, let me know if did I say having or happening? I mean, then so many people trade ICT strategy specific timings. Exactly. So if you're going to ban me and you're going to cut me off for using that, what about the other guys who trade the similar strategies like ICT? It's going to be the exact same thing. Tell about Forex, bro. I did tell the story, Pratish. I did. I'm doing a challenge with Funded Engineer. They're a good firm. I know they're a good firm. I know people who use this who use the fandom swing haven't had any issues with them. So you should be good. I think that's one of them that's on my list. I forgot the other ones. But if you guys are, I'll look into it further, probably sometime either today, maybe not tomorrow. If I can't do it today, maybe next week when I have time, because I got stuff to do tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. I'll look into them and I'll let you guys know in the Discord if you guys are interested, which ones that you should be focusing on. So yeah, let's look at other coins. It's been a while since I looked at anything, so this is going to be new for me as well. Where's ETH? Oh, ETH blew up. All right. So ETH, same kind of idea. I'm more on the side of most coins in general. It's going to be hard for me to justify a new low, but it's something I do have to absolutely keep in mind. So going back to the same thing, we did have an ABC. So if this is going to be a potential bottom, this ABC here is probably most likely going to be part of a larger A. We're going to put in some sort of larger B wave and then extend higher for a C like that. That's probably the most realistic perspective I have for ETH. And the way to figure out where ETH can bottom out is that we got to look at the previous support history or previous supports on the way down. So same thing like BTC. All right, $2,100, then around 1,900. Really, I mean, these are kind of soft areas of support. They're not super serious that I see can be a legitimate actual support for ETH. The first one that really comes to mind is around $1,500. We can get something where we bounce off of there. That's a realistic area to look for. If 1,500 fails, the next logical step for ETH is going to be around 1,365. All right, if that fails, then we're going to go to around 1,050. Like I said, guys, this is just, you got to go down the steps. Just like we go up the ladder for resistances, we got to go down the steps for supports. So figuring out exactly where this is going to bottom out, I don't know, but in my opinion, I would like to see somewhere in these regions. These are my ideal supports for ETH. So I'm going to be setting up some buy zones around here and some buy zones around here. When it comes to actually trading BTC, I've been trying to, I'm getting used to not using leverage anymore. Now, what do you mean by that? If you guys don't know, myself and my friend Kite, if you guys don't know who Kite Crypto is, please go ahead and check him out. I'll go ahead and plug his channel. But if you guys are here, if you guys are subscribed to the channel, a lot of you guys came from Kite's channel onto me. And we talked about this, I'm going to say a couple months ago. But pretty much one of the things that's been going on is Coinbase, or the US government. I'm not sure which branch of the government exactly, but has been looking into and subpoenaing, I guess, Bybit, running subpoenas on Bybit. I don't know what the word for that is. And so a lot of accounts have been flagged. My Coinbase account has been flagged. Anyone, if you've been transacting between Bybit and Coinbase, most likely your account has been not flagged, but they've sent you an email basically stating that they're going to look into your account from transactions between Bybit and Coinbase. I have a feeling based off of this that leverage trading in the near future might become hard to access and might just disappear all together. I'm not saying it could disappear for people all around the world, but it's going to be very hard for the US customer base to access leverage. And depending on how many people, what their, what Bybit's, I'm sure Bybit's customer base or US customer base has dropped significantly ever since they started forcing people to KYC. But I think if something serious like that does happen and it leads big exchanges like Bybit to shut down, I'm thinking worst case scenario here. Then the actual, how do I say this? The force of leverage and the ability to move price action as aggressively as it has is going to be pretty much wiped off the map. If you guys look at these aggressive swings to the upside, to the downside, a lot of this has been because of leverage, right? In my opinion, if there wasn't so much artificial volume being put into these markets, we wouldn't have such aggressive swings. Do I still think Bitcoin was still able to reach these, 60, 70K price points? Absolutely. But it probably wouldn't have been as quick. The markets wouldn't have been as exaggerated. The cycles of the market wouldn't be as exaggerated, in my opinion. It's because of the ability to use leverage, which definitely accelerates and exaggerates these moves. So if some worst case scenario to where leverage trading does disappear entirely, we got to go back to the good old days of buying and selling on spot. Now, as boring as that sounds, it is going to suck. Don't get me wrong, it's going to suck, especially for those who are new. For those of you guys who don't have a lot of money to play with, buying and selling spot is not, you're better off buying altcoins or like shit coins. Not financial advice, but the amount of money you'll make spot trading versus leverage is day and night. But the stability of spot trading will be there forever. Worst case scenario is to utilize DeFi, buy spot BTC long, and borrow. Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. Yeah, that's not a bad way to approach it, man. Absolutely. So like I said, I'm looking at things from a worst case perspective. Worst case scenario, what is possible? Do I think Bybit and all that's gonna go away? Never say never. It could happen. It hasn't happened yet, but I think if U.S. regulations do ramp up, the possibility of leverage going away is very real. There's always stock options. Yeah, I mean, there's always Bitcoin futures as well. Like, I think you can trade CME futures as well, which doesn't get nearly as much volume as Bybit and other leverage exchanges. But there's possible backup options. Possible. But for me, it's just I'm taking spot positions as of right now. I believe I sold a little bit. I sold a little bit off of this ABC here. Basically, the way you play spot is, you know, I have a bigger criteria of where I want my stop losses and stuff to be. So it hasn't hit yet. Where is... So I'm getting myself like a 10-12% stop loss. And I'm just going to target 19K, 25K, 19K. So if this hits, you know, I'll be able to save a 50% move. Buy back in down here and just ride the wave. Now, I'm not using my entire stack. I'm only dedicating a portion of my stack to spot trading. I'm still DCAing even up here. I basically have a small amount of money that I DCA every week regardless. Like it's nothing serious at all. But then I have big levels that I look for that I buy serious, more actual larger positions off of. How do you shorten spot? You just sell. Well, if you don't have any BTC to begin with, and it's kind of hard, but like I've been buying BTC since like 15K, and I have a spot bag accumulated, and all I do is once I see a short position, I sell once we get below our entry, and then if my stop loss gets hit, I just buy back in. Hello, fam. It's me, Strong P. Oh, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Looking for a bigger ABC, but yeah, it's possible. For what? The lower low? Oh, like this bigger ABC to the upside, or you're looking for like a more macro ABC to the downside? To me, this spells a top to me. All right, we've touched this area of resistance. All right, we've kind of faked out past it. You know, I usually, when it comes to these levels of resistances, I don't expect perfect touches to be made. Price is going to overextend past resistance levels or support levels. We got a really nice rejection. We kind of, you know, wedged our way up. When price consolidates like this, I like to see that. Now, is it possible that we use that tightening momentum to push up higher? Definitely. But to me, this is all I need to spell a top for me. This is all I need. Just now, a bit sideways, maybe one more, and then one high. Okay. Same would also say, but also alt say one more high as possible. Yeah, I'm not denying that it can't happen, but to me, this spells a top. If we go up to 50K, a little bit higher, fine. But if we start extending past to like higher highs, then that's going to be a problem. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're pretty much done here for now. And when it comes to the next step, just look for previous support levels for a price to test. In my personal opinion, I don't see anything significant till about like 25K. Then the next level after that, it's gonna be around 19. I really don't see anything else that's, like 19.5, 19.7. I really don't see anything else that's significant in my eyes until we, break down below. Like I said, there's a possibility for 17.6 off of this previous support. I'm not too keen on this one though. It's not really that, doesn't really stand out as a significant support in my opinion. But it definitely could happen if 17K doesn't hold, 15K, and then that's the final step. Like I said, I'm thinking longer term, possible worst case scenarios. Absolute worst case scenario, especially with something else that I haven't talked about yet, which I talked about my most recent recorded video is the S&P. One of the most important things that I have been looking at over the last 3 or 4 months is seeing how the SPY is reacting. One of the biggest potential bear signals I've ever seen in a very long time is approaching very fast. Very fast. If the S&P puts in a higher high, all right, it doesn't significantly blast through, and we just put in an ever so slightly higher high and put in this ABC, oh, we can easily retest 350. And if that breaks, we're going back down to COVID lows. The reason why I say this is because for the last 10, 15 years, price has not put in a significant separation and trend and another significant ABC like this. Can you guys guess when the last time an ABC like this happened? I'll spell it out for you. A, B, C. All price did, all price needs, all right? We don't need to put in a double top. All right, a double top is possible, but we put in an ever so slightly higher high. And then the '08 crash happened. Now, do I think this crash is going to be as significant as the '08 crash? Probably not. I think most realistic 350 if we do put in an ABC, guys. This is all based off of if we put in a slightly higher high and reject. If we put in a larger ABC, similar to what happened in '08, I don't see why we can't test 350. And if that breaks, guys, there is nothing saving us to about $220. Let's see. Johnny, you could draw this. A giant ABC, a normal one where we made the top of it going for a correction, then an all-time high. Johnny, look at gold in the weekly, monthly giant ABC. Let's see. Did it did break the all-time high. Holy shit. I didn't realize this. So gold was something else that I talked about for months. I would argue it's been almost for a year I've been saying this. Same thing with gold. If gold puts in that higher high and we reject and we sustain below that pivot and we do not put in a significant bull run, that is not good for gold. Sure enough, we're sustaining below that pivot. Let's look at the DXY. The DXY is interesting though, because this can go two ways. On the DXY, on the larger scale, I see this, maybe not that one. I see this ABC playing out as a possibility. It's possible. But what I think could happen as well, if you want to look at the other side of this, is that maybe if we zoom in a little bit, all right, the DXY could put in one more low. So we could pump a little bit more because obviously there's an inverse correlation. If the DXY dumps, there's usually a pump in assets in general. Vice versa. The DXY pumps, there's usually some sort of pullback in assets. So in this case, we could have a possibility of a some sort of lower low on the DXY before potentially continuing higher. We'll see. DXY is a little tough because there's different scenarios that can happen. I'm not too keen on the DXY, even though it's not important, but it's interesting to look at because of the inverse correlation. NASDAQ. Oh, so yeah, so NASDAQ also has a bearish ABC. Go for log. Monthly. Go on gold too over a monthly time frame. Please, it's insane. Never is that such. Let's see. Is it? I thought it was. Okay, it is in log. You said the monthly. I just did the 12 months for some reason. Oh yeah, you're talking about this one, yeah. The thing is with these, absolutely, this is very serious. Don't get me wrong, this could be serious, but once you get to like the monthly and the very, very larger term time frame perspectives, it's a little bit hard because you got to think of these areas as like zones. So it's possible, like you can see here off of this ABC, we reject a little bit and continued higher. I definitely see what you're talking about, and it's definitely that this could be a major pivot for gold. But I'm a little bit more focused on like the 2-day and the daily first, and then from there we'll see how gold behaves. But definitely serious though. Could be serious. Nasdaq also bearish. Yeah, I saw that on. Yes. Look at this. I didn't even look at the Dow Jones recently. The S&P might not even put in a higher high. This is some serious shit, guys. I can't sit here and spell this out enough. If the Dow Jones, another example, the S&P doesn't have to put in a higher high, but the Dow Jones did. Right? If price falls back below this pivot and we sustain below, I don't see why we don't have another crash, right? Maybe not as similar as 2008. You can see even up here. Now, it wasn't as exact as the S&P, but same sort of scenario, right? A to a B to a C. We pumped through that pivot. All right, we can definitely extend higher, but if we put in and sustain below that pivot, I don't see why we retest previous areas of support, right? Same idea. Same exact idea. I don't see why, the Dow Jones can't go back to 28K if not lower. The S&P can't go down to test its previous major support levels, if not lower. I don't know what's going to happen, but something is going to cause the markets to crash if we do not sustain above these pivots. And you guys know how the market works. The move always happens first, and then there's always some sort of news that happens. COVID, Ukraine war, who knows? I don't think it's going to be World War III. I have a hard time believing World War III is actually going to happen. It could be something within the U.S. Who knows? I have no idea. Had the same 5 songs been playing this entire time? Bye, Johnny. May you soon go for the road of $1 billion. I appreciate it, my friend. Good to see you. We'll see. I'll tell you what, though. I'm going to be taking the time if this is going to be a recession coming up. Obviously, the most important thing is surviving, making sure I can live, eat, got a roof over my head. But I'm going to do whatever I can to accumulate as much as I can over the next 6 months. Just buy and hold and ride the wave. Right, I already got a plan of what I want to do. That's about it. How you guys doing? What's going on? It's been a long time. It's been a very long time. I feel bad. I always wanted to get back into streaming. There's just been a lot of stuff going on in my personal life, good and bad. I got some stuff I've been working on. Don't know if it's gonna happen now. Who knows? Who really knows? But I've always been like this. I've always had stuff going on behind the scenes. I'm always trying to figure stuff out. I love trading, I love crypto, I love streaming, doing all this, but I gotta do other things as well. And I've been spending a lot of time trying to establish other things outside of just doing this. So I've just been busy. But how you guys been doing? 13 of you in here. I appreciate you guys stopping by. It's always good to see you. But let's look at some other coins. You mean accumulate gold and BTC? Yeah, I own some metals. Definitely gonna be buying more. I looked at ETH. I give you guys the levels for ETH. Let's do. What do you guys want me to do? It's been a while since I've done this. LTC. LTC had a really good ABC. If you guys wanted to trade that, like me personally, I'm not in the business of taking ABC longs like on leverage anymore, or at least as of recently. But this has been a good level to possibly take a long position off of. So definitely a good position to be in. If you guys wanted to attempt that, you can. Crap, I just saw you on. Drew, you're late to the party, my friend. Don't worry, we're going to be hanging out for a little bit. It's been a while since I streamed and I feel bad, so I'm not, this is not going to be an hour. We're going to be here for a little bit longer. If you guys want to talk about anything, we can. All right, let's take a look at other things. I know Matic put in a nice ABC. You read any Al Brooks books? I don't. Did you recommend them to me? That name sounds familiar. I don't think I read any of his books now. Price act. Oh, yes. I remember this. I did not read it, but it is on my list. I do remember this, yes. I guess there's more than one Al Brooks. Oh, it's A.L. Brooks. Huh. I'll definitely check that out. I've been digging deep into it in Wyckoff. Yeah, the Wyckoff method is kind of similar to. I mean, I have seen similarities between the Wyckoff and ABCs and stuff. It's a little bit more intricate for my liking. Like I said, over here we try to keep it simple. XRP has been doing a whole load of nothing. I mean, I haven't looked at XRP in months, and it's still in that same range. The sea leg is the spring. Interesting. Yeah, I'll definitely have to look into that. So I know Sol has been a ripper. I can't believe at one point Sol was $8. That was crazy. That's a crazy move. How's the volume for you guys? Joe. How we doing, man? How we doing? Missed you, bro. Volume was good. Cool. What's up? Like I said, I got a new Rodecaster Pro. No more digital processing stuff. I didn't realize how much money I spent. I was spending like $30 a month on digital processing, and the amount of money I spent for having that for 2 years, you guys can do the math. It's just been easier to just, I got a good amount of Christmas money. I said, screw it. I'm just going to buy Rodecaster Pro. So we're all analog now, all analog. I've been buying a little ICP. I haven't really, I know we talked about that coin before, Joe. Misty bro, volume is good. Okay, cool. Misty you, Drew. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. It's been a while. A lot of nothing. How's your props going? So unfortunately, I got scammed from my one prop firm. Long story short, they accused me of conspiring with another trader, and I broke their terms of service. I basically, we went back and forth on email. I told them, you guys are full of shit, pretty much. And they said, basically, I didn't want to explain myself, because they were asking me to defend myself and my actions. And basically, long story short, what I said was, I trade a particular strategy that's open to the public, right? So thousands of people have access to this. Out of those thousands of people, there's going to be a handful of people who trade on the same, Fund Index platform. And because of that, with a small group of traders that trade the exact same strategy that has a very set, confined set of rules, the odds of more than one person taking a similar entry is going to be pretty high. And basically they told me that, oh, well, you're just saying that's coincidence, and we don't believe that's the case. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? So went back and forth on email with them. Long story short, I can show you guys the emails if you want. But Fund Index is a fucking scam, and I will say that over and over again. I've tried, I went through a phase where I really wanted to not start a smear campaign, but go out and, see if I can get the word to the public and get the word out there more. But the more I thought about it, I'm just like, I just don't feel like dealing with this, man. I feel bad. I'm sorry for you guys if you guys have joined through Fund Index. I really hope this doesn't happen to you. I didn't want this to be the case. It's my fault. All right, I will take full blame, full accountability for it. I should have done I did do a good amount of research, but of course, as soon as I signed up, I got funded. This started happening to other people. All right, when I was still in the testing phase of this, none of this was happening. So of course, as soon as I got funded, I had a feeling that there was a chance that this was going to happen. I didn't want it to happen, but it did. But I did get paid out. Right, so basically, I was supposed to get paid. So I had about $1,600 in my account. All right, so that with an 80% split. All right, plus my $500 refund, I was supposed to get $1,700, but I ended up only getting $475. Because what I thought was going to happen was, they said, okay, we'll offer you a 25% payout of your original profit. I said, okay, that's fair. But I agreed to it only if I got my refund back. And they said, okay. What they actually did was, instead of doing the $1,600 plus 8, right, plus 25% of that. Oh. All right. Instead of this 320 plus the 500, they did this. They did 1,600 plus 500, and then even still, I was supposed to get, I got like $480, $490. So they didn't even give me the right amount, which I believe I did the math right. I don't remember. Or it was like 20%, 25%. I don't remember, but they basically fucked me. So yeah. Wow, typical shady business. Yeah, I've been looking into Mint funding. Fend funding. Men's funding is on my list as of right now. I know funded engineer is a good one. Funded pips, I believe, is a good one that acknowledge that, like, you know, that actually is aware of the Judas swing strategy. So you should be fine there. And there's one other one that I know that is good, that hasn't had any issues. That is bullshit. Yep. Make an exclusive video. I bet some same people encountered the same thing. I thought about it, Joe. I don't know. A part of me wants to just to say fuck you, but at the same time, like, I just don't. If this was a thing where, and guys, let me know if you guys are running into the same issue. Please let me know. If this ends up happening to everyone, then yes, I will definitely consider making a video, because if it's just me that gets scanned, and if you guys are okay, you guys get your payouts, I really don't care. It sucks, yes, but at the same time, I didn't get completely shafted, but I did get shafted. So I walked away with something, and I plan on using that money to buy another challenge here soon. But if everyone else who's doing this with me, who uses Fund Index, is also happening the same thing, it's more not just about me, it's about you guys as well. So, Met is a single stage. Yes, yeah, I know Met is one phase, but I know they're like, their stop loss limits are a lot tighter. All you have to do is just adjust for that. It's still the same between a phase 1 and the phase 2. You should be able to get this. It's like the same-ish results. I know Mint funding also has a lot higher limits. Like, you can get $2 million in funding with them, which is absolutely insane. It's a lot of money for that, but you can get funded a good amount of money with them. But if you're gonna fork up the money for something like a $2 million challenge, you better damn make sure that you can trade that strategy on there. I'm not saying you guys aren't going to do that. They don't do trailing loss. Okay, that's good. So yeah, but I promise I still have that 25K account through Tradingview, which I haven't touched in a while, but I'm definitely going to be using that. I'm going to go back to just trading that. And at some point in the near future, I'm probably going to save my money and buy a 200K account instead of 100K. But I'm going to make sure that I get through either funded engineer, funded pips, to make sure that, you know, I don't get screwed out of a situation like this again. Sorry, I'm tired. So if sharing profit ratio is too good, they're probably slimy. I mean, there's a chance, but like I said, like I believe. Let me double check. Is it funded pips? Yeah, I believe it's funded pips. Let me go to Phantom's Discord. I don't remember. I got to figure this out, but I know Phantom himself has been working with funded pips, and there's another one out there, and they have personally, like, he has talked to them personally, and they will allow you to trade a Phantom Judas swing. So you will not have any problems with funded pips, and there's another one I don't remember the name of. So the next challenge I am going to get is going to be through funded pips. Just because even though the, you know, rules might be different, stop loss or requirements will be a little bit different. I don't remember too much because I haven't looked into that recently. But this on the sole fact that I'm not going to be able, that I know through them, hopefully, I mean, based off of what I've heard, there's not going to be any issues with them. So I'm going to take that chance. The price action has been wild. CPI came in hotter than expected, so probably no rate cuts first half of the year. Stock's going to keep pumping. I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe we can get a little bit more action, but I don't see, the S&P. The S&P 500 is above its ABC. All right, it's put in a complete ABC, so we need to see how this reacts. The S&P is almost at its ABC, so it's possible that the Dow Jones can pump a little bit more. But given what I'm seeing, I just have a hard time believing that unless the market severely pumps through this, which it could happen. I'm not saying it can't, but if we start sustaining below that pivot on both the Dow Jones and the S&P, mostly the Dow Jones at the moment, I just have a very hard time believing that we're going to be pumping significantly in the near future. But I could be wrong. What's up, Johnny? Tell K I told you the Saudis were buying. We'll do easy. We'll do. I'll probably talk to him tonight. I would guess big money in selling into this. Exactly, Joe. Exactly. Remember, these bullish movements, whether it's news like the Bitcoin ETF, whether it's new all-time highs like this where people are getting FOMO. Remember, these bullish, it goes both ways, right? When there's major bullish or bearish activity, that momentum, that volume is used to get big positions or whale positions in or out of the markets. So in this case, if we are going to be significantly pumping on the Dow Jones, remember, big money is selling into these pumps. All right, same thing with Bitcoin. When the ETF stuff is happening, right, that momentum to the upside is helping, the big players get out of their positions. Same thing, vice versa. When we were down here on BTC, people were getting very, very bearish because of all the news that was going on at the time. But they took that momentum, they took that that volume, that bearish volume, that sell volume, to buy back into their positions. And maybe OTC, you might be able to actually not see these transactions happen real time, but money's exchanging hands. That's always how it's been. Always. I would guess big money is selling. Okay, let's see. Chic Larry Fink and Chic Sailor T. Exactly. Look at ARKB and BITI. I think those are Bitcoin ETFs. Looks like a shit coin that just launched, but they are moving. But they move up from here. Not gonna lie. Is that something I can actually look into? Is that those the tickers? Oh. But they were just open, like this is their first candle, right? Yeah, like they just opened. Look at this. Let's just pretend that there's price action here. I mean, yeah, it does look like they both look like shitcoin charts. Absolutely terrible. Not good. Zoom in like 5 minutes. Sorry, BTI. On this one or on the other one? Oh yeah, this guy at ABC. But yeah, I understand what you're saying, AZ. If you want to give me the other ticker, I'll look at it. But if the other one looks like this, they're both, it's not good. The fact that this opened today, that it dropped, I mean, what is... Oh, okay, it's only 15%. It's only a 15% dump. But doesn't mean that it's not, you know, doesn't mean that it can't keep going. I just don't like these. There's a chart out there. I forgot the name of it. If someone can find this, I saw it on Twitter recently. But they basically, you know what? I might be able to find it. I think a YouTuber talked about it actually. Hold on, I gotta find it. Yes. All right. I watch some YouTubers just to see if I can, just to see what's going on in the market. One of them, his name is Mike Williams. He used to be a part of Chart Champions. I love this. I love this chart right here because this kind of proves the point of what I've always said. All right. Every single one of these ETF or anything like these big potential avenues for big money to come in, it's never been a good thing. Never been a good thing. CME 20K top. I think when Coinbase first announced, when I think you were able to buy Coinbase shares, Bitcoin dropped like a month after that. Same thing. There's another ETF that released, bear market. Spot ETF at the moment, you know, I think I'm sure it's not going to be exact, but relatively soon, we're probably going to have another bearish reaction. And if you guys don't think that's not possible, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, but they look like they want to turn up. It's possible. Maybe go a little higher before lower. Like I said, anything's possible at this point. I'm not the guy to sit here and tell you exactly what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. But I will show, I can always go back and show you how price has reacted to certain things, not just levels, but to events itself. So previous price action is a key indicator, is my number one indicator, but sometimes looking at stuff like that also is like a backup to me. And right now, all roads are pointing to the downside. Now, do I think 15K, we're going to get a lower low? I would say if you had to put a percentage, I would say there's like a 20 to 25% chance. I used to be like 65, 70%, even up here. I still thought we were going to come back down. But once you started getting past like 40K or 35K, then I was like, okay, it's probably not going to happen. It's not going to be as likely. So as of right now, it basically started going down as we continue to move up. So if you had to, I would say the chances of an Adam and Eve versus this, an Adam and Eve at this point is probably like the 80% more, 80% probability of happening, in my opinion. The actual lower low to happen, 20%. You never know. You never know. You really don't know. This time is different. I think we correct but not crash unless something happens economically. Well, it's definitely, we don't know. We just don't know what's going to happen. Best example, the COVID dump. Nobody expected COVID to happen. But news events like this causes bearish momentum, and we go ahead and test significant areas of support. You know, from that, we look at the last bear market. All right, we had that corrective cycle. We dumped 72% from the high. If this, let's say history rhymes, all right, it doesn't repeat. Let's say 70%. If we were to dump 70%, that's a new low. I'm not going to say exactly 70%, but let's just say, I don't know, what's this? 60%? That would be fair. 50%, that would also be fair. You just got to take it one level at a time. So to say that we can't have significant 60, 70% drops over the course of a couple months, anything's possible. Anything. Let's see. Correction. Yeah. But now there will be forever twop on VTC. Forever top, possibly. I don't think that's the case. I think it's going to be a while till we see. If this is going to be the top, I think it's going to be a very long time till we see 49K again. Like, we're probably going to go ahead and drag this out for a very long time. I'm just giving an example here. Like, I don't think, like, we're probably not going to see a new top until maybe a year at least. There is an argument that ETF approval validated EBC as legitimate investment. Many dollars have been waiting on the sideline. BTC was considered unsafe. Possibly, Joe. I think in the longer term, absolutely. I think on the over the course of 5 years, 10 years, I think the ETF definitely has longer potential, like a longer term potential to help price move to the upside. But to think that people are going to be rushing to the floodgates buying BTC as soon as this ETF is approved, I don't think so. I really don't think that's the case. Like the SP 500 up into the right, slow down, graduation ascension to the moon. It's possible, definitely possible. I have my own opinion on the S&P. I think the S&P personally is probably going to reach a new all-time high. We do have a very big ABC to overcome. Same thing with the Dow Jones. All right, the Dow Jones has currently completed an ABC. So unless we pump to the moon and we just keep going, I really have a hard time believing that we're going to be putting in any significant all-time highs even though we are on a period of all-time highs right now. I don't think we're going to be pushing any significant numbers anytime soon, unless it happens. But if we fill this APC and we do reverse, I don't see why we don't go ahead and retest $28,000 on the S&P, or sorry, on the Dow Jones. Let's see. BTC was meant to fight Wall Street and now is a part of it. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. That's what it was supposed to be meant for, but when money gets involved, there's always ways to, they always find a way to make it work. Big money always finds a way to win. Our grandma's IRA and 401k money managers can now allocate to BTC. Now is deemed a safe investment vehicle at the price of $45,000. LOL. Remember, we need volume to reverse on both sides. We need volume to reverse. The only way you get volume is from money coming in. The higher the price point is, the more money you need to get volume to pump. The higher the price point, the more money you need to have flowing into the markets to get to higher price points. At the same time, you also need money to get whale positions out of or in and out of the market. So, oh yeah, Drew, sorry, BTC dominance. You're right, BTC dominance. What's the ticker for BTC dominance? Oh, it's BTC.D. That's what it was. All right, 52%. I mean, I really don't trade anything on the BCT dominance chart. You could potentially give it an ABC here. I'm not really the biggest fan of doing that, but I believe it's legit. It could be easy. I don't. At the moment, I need to see a correction. Sit here and to say that BTC is going to keep going from here without a serious correction, and also with the timeline of how things are playing out. Remember, we need a bear market, which we got. Right? We had a upwards correction, which we got. Now we need to test areas of supports. Right? I don't know exactly where we're going to test. We can go ahead and just test 25K. Absolutely in the cards. But to say that we're just going to keep going from here, I just don't think it's realistic. I don't. If I'm wrong, I will absolutely fall on that sword. But at this point, I have a very hard time believing we're going to keep going from here. If we do keep going from here, and we do start to put in higher price points, right, we can go ahead and talk about the next potential disaster that can come about. Because now we're talking ABC on a larger... Now, to be fair, ABCs on this scale, I wouldn't say they're the best. The only reason why I believe ABCs like this haven't worked out in the past is because of the timing, right? These pumps have always been post-halvening. This pump has been post-halvening. Oh, do I have a chart out there with that? Did I delete it? I hope I didn't delete it. Oh, I might have deleted it. Hold on. I have a chart out there for this. Shit, did I delete it? I must have deleted it. Damn. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. The reason why ABCs like this one and back here haven't worked out is because they've always been at the right time. These red lines point out halving periods, right? Always 3 to 6 months after the halving, or 3 to 4 months, whatever. I forgot. I think it's 3 to 4 months. There's always been a pump or a new creation of all-time highs 3 to 4 months past, or 3 to 6 months post halving. If we put it in an all-time high now without, having that right place at the right time kind of scenario, I have a hard time believing that we're going to be putting in a new bull market at that point. You think ETH is going to pump a lot in expectation of ETH being the next ETF? It could, Joe, but it's the same kind of scenario. You need volume to wash, to wash each other. Well, you need one hand to wash the other, right? Volume from ETH ETF could also create short position opportunities. We don't know. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna get an ETH ETF in the near future. I could be wrong on that. I really don't keep up with like what coins are getting ETFs or not, but I do understand that good news or potential good news like that always leads to some sort of bad price action. Well, has usually led to bad price action. I can't say every time, but majority of the time. I agree. Correction. Probably 29 to 33K or 31 to 34. Yeah. I got a chart for that. Yeah. Absolutely. Because that's important. It's to me, it's an important thing to understand that timing does matter to a certain extent. Now, I'm not going to sit here. I know people use crazy stuff like Fibonacci time sequences and all that. That's a bunch of bullshit. For the most part. But when you look at things from a basic supply and demand standpoint, understanding that halvenings are usually pretty bullish, but it doesn't happen until after a halvening, then you can kind of have a better idea of when to time things. Maybe spike down to 23K or back to 25, 27K on Wix. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Like I said, we don't have to go ahead and do the crazy bearish stuff that I think is going to happen. But what I will say is that I base my trading decisions based off of actual price action and actual levels, right? If price is showing me that we're going to go ahead and test certain areas first, I'm going to buy when I need to buy. I'm going to wait for the next position. If I have opportunities to where, let's say price only goes down to 25K, and let's say we don't go down to 19, I'm still going to buy some at 25K. I'm not going to be overly expecting 19,000. I'm still going to buy at 25K. If I don't get my main position filled at 19, oh well. But I have plans to make sure that I take advantage of each potential bottom. 1000% agree. Just joking. I know. I know. When is it happening? In April, I believe. Let me get you an exact, because it like fluctuates. XBTC. All right, so according to this, we got 98 days. There you go. Approximate halving time, April 19th. Like I said, it's not exact because the Bitcoin rewards are constantly fluctuating and like consistently going down. Yeah, like I said, it's a steady decline. It's not just at one point it cuts in half and then continues on to the next cycle. It's like a gradual decline. So around April 19th. So like I said, 3 to 6 months post halving. So it could be anywhere from May, June, July, anywhere in the summer. If we go to 6 months, May, June, July, August, September, October, which kind of lines up with the fall. Wasn't the largest trading volume of bull market between 48 and 50K? Was it? Oh, looking at fucking symbols. I need to pull up indicators. I mean, I'm not sure how accurate this volume chart is, but the most sell volume happened around the COVID dump, and then during the last. Yeah. I mean, like I said, this is going based off of, I'm not sure how accurate the index volume is. I would have to look maybe at like Coinbase or something. I'm not sure, but remember, I know whales aren't buying on Coinbase. And if they are, they're buying OTC. They're not, they're buying behind the scenes. They're not actually putting in exchange volume. Looks like it's about the same. Sell the wife and kids, exactly. Max out your credit cards, take out a second mortgage, sell your wife and kids. You got 2 kidneys, sell a kidney. Just kidding. Not financial advice. Why the fuck are we up so early if halving is so near? Well, like I said, it's part of the cycle. It's part of the movements. There's always there's sections to how bull markets and bear markets play out, right? The bear market, there's always an actual bear market phase. All right, there's a retesting phase. All right, I'm gonna change the colors of this. All right, there's the original bear market phase. There's a retesting phase. And then we need to go through a period of testing supports. We don't know how long that's going to take, but let's just say 25K. All right, just to make things simple. It can go anywhere. All right, there's a period where we retest areas of support, and then we can go ahead and talk about new all-time highs. That's the next step. There's always sections to this. I can show you exactly. Do blue. All right, there's always sections to this. Same thing like with the previous bear market. All right, we had the initial bear market phase. I'll try to keep the same colors. All right, we have the original. That's a different yellow. All right, we have the original bear market phase. Then we had a bullish retesting phase. All right, and then we have to go through it. We went through a phase of testing supports. All right, and then we have the bull market phase. Like I said, I don't know exactly how each phase is going to play out. But what I can do is, if it'll let me. All right, what I can tell you is that this is how most likely it's going to play out. It's going to be the same thing across the board. We just don't have the other two phases yet. So we need something like this to play out. Like, I don't know. This retesting phase can take longer, could be shorter. I don't know, but we just don't know yet. We don't know what the phase is going to be. Let's see. How long do you think it takes for the sell the news to occur? I always thought it was right away. Not necessarily, Joe. Like, if I know with the CME, it was pretty much like the following week. I believe with the Coinbase stuff, it was like a month it took, maybe a couple weeks. I believe same thing with this one too. Let me pull up that chart again I had. Where's that chart? Did I exit out of that tab? I might have. I can find it again. No, I definitely can find it again. All right, I'm just going to use this because I can't find it on the internet, but Mike Williams has it. You can see the coin was within the same week, or the CME was in the same week. The Coinbase one, it took about a month after. The ETF took about 2 or 3 weeks after. So you can expect the same thing, anywhere from this week to a month, I would say. Check CME open interest. What's the ticker for that? Oh, is it just okay? It's this. You said open interest. Is this the right one? This is a good example. Look, the most buying volume, or I guess the most buying open interest happened during the all-time low. I don't know exactly how to decipher this, but it looks like open interest is increasing. It could be bullish, could be bearish. I see a lot of red in here. I don't know what I'm looking at, to be honest, when it comes to the open interest. I'm not sure if this is even the right indicator, but let's see. Alflesh and Link Vetmatic. I can do that. Let's do Link first. So TA on Link, it'll be quick. We broke out of this zone of nothingness, which is amazing because you had an ABC buying opportunity for Link, which I wish I paid attention to a little bit more because I definitely would have bought some. But now that we put in that lower low, we're currently in an uptrend. In my opinion, there's two possibilities. Either we have ended off of this ABC, or maybe we're in for one more pump to the upside for this. That's in the cards. Same case scenario. If we do put in a reversal, all right, let's say this is the scenario. All right, if we put in a reversal from here, we need to go ahead and look for previous support levels. All right, that's a support level around 11 bucks. Let me make sure that's right. Sorry, around, oh yeah, 11.68. All right, and from there, the next previous support level is around $7. You got to play level by level. So wait to see what happens. If you want to sprinkle in, I mean, you should have been buying down here, but I would wait for lower areas of support to be tested before considering buying. Like I said, we don't give financial advice on this channel. This is how I would approach it. But that's pretty much it for Link. What did you say? Vet? Do I have Vet on my list? I do have Vet. All right, Vet's almost the same scenario. Looks like Vet did put in a ABC here. I mean, that A is technically all the way up here. All right, so put in that reversal pattern. All right, same sort of scenario. We're at a resistance. We're at a previous resistance point. You can see prices kind of fluctuating in between. So if we do put in that ABC reversal up here, look for areas of support. All right, in my opinion, it's going to be based off what chart says around 2.5 cents. That fails. Looks like you're going to be going back down to 0.01928. But besides that, I mean, he's got to wait and see how that responds. If we keep going, there's really no resistance until about 89 cents. So it can really reverse anywhere from here all the way up there. There's a big gap. You said Matic. I think I touched on Matic a little bit, but I'll touch on it real quick. So Matic, we do have a nice ABC top here. We might be retesting, or we could be putting in something like this. I'm not too sure exactly, but if we are, let's say this is the reversal pattern and this is it. You need to go ahead and look at areas of support, in my personal opinion. All right, 71 cents, 72 cents is the key area of support. If that fails, we're going all the way back down to 50. That's where I think. It's not where I think, it's where I see the pivots that price want to test, right? You guys got to remember this. The perfect example of this, right? I personally didn't talk about this. This was a kite thing. But back when Kite was more active and he was talking to Ryan Matta, he specifically said, let me find. He specifically said, I believe it was this one. This is a perfect example. If price fails $4.39, you have to look at the next previous support level below to give you an idea where price is going to go. Ryan Matta did not believe that was going to happen, and sure enough, it did. And so it's one of those same scenarios. You got to look at price at one step at a time and see how price behaves on those levels. If it respects a pivot, it'll bounce off of it. If it doesn't want to respect that pivot, you have to go find the next one. Don't get caught up in the metaverse. Happy New Year. Stan, thought it would reach 50K today, but got stopped out. I mean, it still could, Stan. Like I said, I'm not too focused on exactly where price is going to top out at. I've already accumulated my spot positions. So I've been selling spot. I'm probably not going to be touching leverage for a while. If I do decide to touch leverage again, it's probably going to be through CME or something. Who knows? I'm not too exactly sure. But we put in that previous, we put in a new high. All right, we had a very, very messy set of ABCs here, which I expected. The reason why I say I expected that is because people want price to go up higher, right? You also have to understand that we are at a previous pivot of crucial resistance. Change that back to yellow. All right. We were in that zone and we actually broke through and retested 48K, right? The same exact thing. When you break through these resistance levels, People get excited. FOMO starts kicking in. People start buying at these peaks. When people are buying into these peaks, big money is selling, right? Money is trading hands. So this is how people get trapped in positions. This is why ABCs work so well. It's because you have to understand the mindset and the fundamentals behind why these fluctuations and these exchange of hands happen. It's because you need volume to get big money in and out. The way you create money flowing in is getting people excited or scared. Bitcoin ETF, it's going to get a lot of people excited. People think that this is the next biggest bullish thing. The more bullish you think something is, the more people get FOMO'd into bullish ideas into something like this, the more likely that the reversal is going to be a lot more harsh, because it creates a giant momentum shift and a giant snowball to the opposite direction, right? Really good example was this right here. People were very, very nervous and probably pissed off that price was getting back down to 15K. So as people were selling into this dump, big money was buying, you create this gigantic momentum shift. Once momentum starts shifting, people start buying the other way. It's just a springboard. Your taste in music has improved. To be honest, Tobias, I don't know. I think it's been playing the same 5 songs for the last like 20 minutes. I'm just going by what it tells me to play. I like it though. I like it. My music taste is very, what I play, what I listen to not on stream is very broad. I listen to a lot of stuff. I just don't know what other people like to listen to, so I kind of stick to what I think everyone's gonna like. Wait, Johnny not shorting, just spot selling? So sad. The only reason why I'm not shorting right now is, one, I don't have any BTC on exchanges. 2, because of the whole potential Bybit stuff that might be going on. Joe, I've talked about this in the past. Worst case scenario, I don't know if this is going to happen, but it could possibly lead to this. As leverage is becoming more popular, the U.S. government, like the FTC, and I don't know what, I'm sure there's another branch out there that I can't find the name of or remember the name of. It's going to start cracking down on this. It's going to get to the point to where people from the U.S. getting access to leverage is going to become very hard, if not impossible. So for me personally, I'm considering other alternatives like the Malta, like not Malta. What's the name of the country? Palau. Getting the IED card from there and signing up for Bybit. I'm considering that. I just haven't pulled that trigger, but at the moment, until I do, I'm just going to be spot selling. But to me, spot selling, I could still make good money spot selling. And I don't have to worry about getting liquidated, which is nice. It's actually nice not having to worry about getting liquidated. All I have to do is set bigger stop losses and just buy back in. It's a lot less stressful than leverage trading. What about KDA compared to last year? What do you mean by that, Tobias? Like what KDA is doing? Like, you want me to look at it, or just my opinion on it? Because I've been buying. I bought some at 79 cents. I've been DCing a little bit down here. To be honest, I was kind of hoping we would get to 30. What was that support level? I mean, we can still go down there, but I'm looking for 31 cents. I'll tell you what, though. If 31 cents does hit, I'm going to be buying a decent bag. And once we buy that decent bag, I'm looking for like 50 to 75 bucks. Oh, compared to last year. I got you. Become a passport, bro. No, I'm good, man. I'm good. We'll see. I have to look into the digital residence thing. But like I said, I don't want to spend $500 on an ID and end up getting kicked off of Bybit anyway. So that's my biggest concern. Okay, so for KDA now is doing pretty good. You got to keep in mind, remember, we're kind of teetering on this support resistance area. Support, broke through, resistance. So in order for KDA to be a little bit more bullish, I need to see price start pumping past into getting close to that $4 range. To be honest, I don't think that's going to happen. I personally think we're probably going to go back down, maybe put in a lower low around 41 cents. I would like to see 31 cents. But I'm not getting too excited over KDA now. Yes, I have a little bit of spot, and I have seen a decent improvement in my spot bag, but I want more. I always want more. Like I said, I've mentioned this in the past. KDA is going to be my Grand Slam coin. I'm going to put a decent amount of money into it, and that's pretty much it for my altcoin buys. I might buy a little bit of some stuff here and there, like a couple $100 here and there, but I plan on going big on KDA. Obviously I'm not going to go all in, but I still have my Bitcoin bags, my ETH bags. Once those go through and once those get to a better point, obviously those bags are going to carry me pretty far, but in regards to making it big, KDA is going to be the coin. And if it doesn't, I'm okay with it because I'm still going to win anyway. I'm just not going to win as much. Let's refresh this. So yeah, just keep an eye on for KDA. If you want to buy support zones, you can. 90 cents is a support zone, maybe 64, but to be honest, I think 41 cent region is the best area to buy. If we can now get KDA to actually market that properly. What could be the trigger for a dump? Didn't watch your video. Okay, yeah, I can explain it. I recommend Tobias after the stream if you want to go check it out. I'll kind of briefly explain it from a not necessarily a chart perspective. We're absolutely gonna look at chart stuff, but I want you to keep this idea in your head. When bullish events like this happen, right? Big money needs volume to come in order for big money to get in positions and out of positions. Now, how do you create that volume? You get people excited or you get people scared. In this case, we're looking for excitement. How do you get people excited? Launch products like ETFs, futures, etc. Bitcoin ETF in the future, I personally believe does have the potential to help in the longer term, like 5 to 10 years. But to go ahead and say that something like this is going to be immediately bullish is kind of naive in my opinion. So understanding this concept of volume and money exchanging hands. When people see price action break above a previous resistance and make a potential run for new highs in combination with bullish news, it gets people excited. Like I said, like I mentioned before, we got a spike above that high. I guarantee you, I'm curious to see how many people bought up in this region. It's probably going to be pretty scary if I was able to get an exact volume figure. But money has to exchange hands in order for the whales to get in and out. Okay? Whales are not buying. If you think whales are buying Bitcoin at 46, 48K, you're out of your damn mind. Whales are buying Bitcoin at $15,000 to $20,000. So now you need a position to get out of. The only way you can create that amount of liquidity to get those kind of positions in and out of the markets is, like I said, creating FOMO. So because of the excitement, because of the volume, this creates a momentum shift, right? The way it creates a momentum shift is that you get people to buy up here. And what ends up happening is when big money sells and outplays retail, right, it creates momentum to the downside. What ends up happening is you get an exchange of volume, an exchange of hands, or money exchanging hands. I keep saying that because it's an important concept. When this happens and you create the bearish momentum, it causes people to have their stop losses be hit, whether it's spot, whether it's leverage. And what ends up happening is when these stops get hit, it forces more people to start selling and continues even more momentum, more, in this case, more bearish momentum to the downside. So my personal opinion, this is a crucial pivot point, because what's going to happen is you're going to see exchange of hands, maybe not on the actual volume indicators itself, but I can promise you that at this point, whales are getting out, right? It might not be right away, but they're starting to get out of positions, because right now you're creating bullish momentum by trying to get people to buy, but you're being outplayed by the whales and how they're selling and getting out of these positions. Now, if we continue to pump through this, maybe I was wrong. Maybe they're not selling at this particular pivot. But that's just one idea. The main idea that I talk about in that video is more traditional market-wise. One of the biggest things at the moment is the Dow Jones, right? The Dow Jones and the S&P. I talk about the S&P in the video, but the Dow Jones is a great example, right? The S&P is on its way up to create a new all-time high, right? The last time the S&P has created a nice ABC with a clear separation and trend like this to this scale was back in 2008. Now, do I think it's going to be as bad as the '08 crash? No. But you have to understand that these markets behave very similarly, whether it's BTC, the S&P, Forex. You'll be surprised how common ABCs are. They might behave a little bit differently, and they might form a little bit differently, but this is a clear-cut ABC like we see in Bitcoin on a larger scale. A pullback, a slight wick higher to create that potential bullish momentum, gets reversed, right? Same thing. Ever since 2008, we haven't had a serious, significant ABC like this with a larger separation and trend. Yes, I can sit here and draw ABCs all day within this uptrend. Sure. Right? But what's important and what gives the ABC more validity, in my opinion, is how long it takes for the actual setup to form. Now, in this case, this took a while. The separation between the A and the C has been about almost 2 years. Right? It's been almost 2 years. So that's a very significant separation and trend. Same thing with the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones, the last time it's created a nice ABC like this with a good separation and trend was back in 2008. Now, it wasn't as exact as the S&P. It could be a similar situation. We can come up here and dance around for a little bit, but if we start maintaining below that pivot around this area, right, I don't see why the Dow Jones and the S&P can't revisit its previous major support levels, right? In this case, for the Dow Jones, it's around 28,650-ish. And if that breaks, we're probably going to go ahead and test the previous COVID lows around at 18,225. All right, with the S&P, it's very similar. All right, for the S&P, same thing. If we do form an ABC and we do drop, 350s in the cards. If 350 fails, 218 is the next step. There's nothing holding the S&P from falling to 218. Nothing. So I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of what could happen. I personally don't think, especially with the economic conditions, what's been going on recently, it just hasn't been good. It hasn't been good. And usually price can tell you what can happen before something does happen. It's been proven time and time again. A lot of the times an event will happen and then news will come out. So for me, I'm not trying to tell you to be ultra bearish. I'm not trying to tell you you should be scared, you should be fearful. But before you get too bullish, and before you get too excited about ETF stuff and anything else that could be bullish, don't forget to look at the other side. Be open. This being open is what helps you become a better trader. It's being closed-minded to any idea is what's going to hold you back. Not more, but just as much as anything else in trading. I read MicroStrategy sold some last week, I think like 200 mil. That's a decent amount. All right, I got to go, brother. Glad you're back and have a great day. Thank you so much, Joe, for stopping by. I do appreciate you. Hope to see you soon. But yeah, Tobias, that's like the gist of the video. It's just to show you guys, hey, before you get too excited, take a look at the other side of the coin. What does the other side of the coin say? I can give you a very valid argument for bearishness, right? Do I think does it mean that it's absolutely going to happen? No, I've been wrong before, right? I don't want you guys to get all scared before just because I said something. But just like people are trying to get you the FOMO and buy into this ETF hype, remember the other side of the coin before you take a position like that. Remember what's possible. And just get a second opinion about what is possibly brewing. All right, we don't know what's going to happen, but I can give you an idea of what could happen. All right, guys. It's been holy shit. It's been 2 hours already. Let's play some Mortal. I'm gonna start to wrap things up here. Is it gonna work this time? Because I remember last time we tried playing this, it didn't work. All right, it did. As always, I'll keep price action up. Raise and donut. Okay, so raise gave me the I in the center. Let's see. R and an E. No. E's not in the R's not in the first spot. The R is probably going to be in the second spot. PRI. Maybe it's not. Maybe the Tiger. Okay, so the E's in the second spot. Trying to figure out where the E and the I are. So the R is the first letter. R, A, I, E. Oh yeah, we could do Prime. Yeah, let's do Prime. Drew, I saw that. I saw you deleted it. Want me to do Prime? No. I'm being an idiot. No, I'm being an idiot. I gotta be a little bit more. I gotta be more careful once you get to the first, the last half of the entries. Prime was a good one though. So the R is in the second spot. PRIE. You know, E at the end. Yeah, I kind of figured. L R I E. No. F R I E. Fried. Okay. So it's RIEF. Grief? It's gotta be grief. Let me guys know in chat. No, there's no G. Brief? Brief. I think it's brief. Right? We didn't do B yet. Let me guys know what you guys think. It's definitely brief. I think it's brief. Let me guys know. What do you guys think in chat? If it's not brief, I don't know what it is. All right. Brief is going in 3, 2, 1. Brief. There we go. Look at that. I timed it with the new song. That was a good one. All right, guys. I'm gonna try my best to this week. It's not gonna be a good week for me because I got stuff to do. Obviously, the end of the week is like tomorrow. Next week, I'm gonna try to do better. At least stream once a week. That I can promise you. One of the New Year's resolutions I have is to do more. I always want to do more, do better. So I'm definitely trying to focus on. I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm gonna do my best to make time for content. Even though the streams might not be as long as this going forward, I'm going to do my best to try to keep them a little bit more frequent. It's probably going to be the beginning of the week. The end of the week is kind of tough for me. So like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, somewhere in that time frame. So Monday to Thursday, I'll try to figure out a more definitive plan for you guys. But I really do appreciate you guys stopping by as always. Even though when I do take my breaks, excuse me. And I recently just crossed 1,700 subs. So thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate the love and support. It's been we come a long way. I know the momentum was very fast in the beginning. I still remember the 1K mark. That was very, very good time for me. I really do appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel. As always, be good, be safe. All right, be careful, just be aware. Always plan accordingly. Use proper risk. Like I said, I'm selling here. I'm selling. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll bite that. I'll fall on that sword. That's fine with me. But luckily with spot, I don't have to worry about it so much. I sold like right around here. I'm giving myself like a 10% stop. I almost got stopped out earlier today. Something like a 10 to 12% stop. It's not dead set, but I have an alert on Coinbase. So like if it does go above a certain pivot, I will rebuy. I'm just going to target 25 to 20K. See what happens. So that's going to be the next plan for me. I'm glad I got to catch you. Have an awesome weekend. Thank you so much, Drew. I really do appreciate it. But you guys know what I'm doing. So I'll keep you guys posted. Hope to see you guys on the next stream. Drew, Umit, Joe, Tobias. Let's see. Stan, Gibbon, Alfush. Let's see. AZTV. I promise I'll relay the message to Kite. I do appreciate it. Who else did I miss? Omen. I think he left. Goodman MD. It's good to see you. Ruben. It's good to see you, my friend. Let's see. Vlad, Bedarius, Otin, Marty, Perthish, Mr. Reckless. You're still here. I really do appreciate you. But until next time, be good, be safe. Hope you guys have a good start to your new year. And let's see what happens. All right, let's do the thing. Bye-bye.